Olivia here, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. Today is Friday, September 4th, and I am back for my stitching update. It has been 2 weeks since my last one, so I hope you've all been well and you've been creating all of the things. If you are brand new to my channel, welcome. This is a video podcast about cross-stitching and sometimes quilting. However, if you're not interested in seeing the quilts, I show those in the second half of my video, and I let you know in plenty of time that they will be making their appearance so that way you can go on to the next Flosstube video. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. So how have you guys all been? I hope you've had a great 2 weeks. For me, it went by really fast. I have to admit that this time of the year, there's usually an excitement in the air because school would normally be starting on Tuesday for Ethan, but it's not going to start for him until September 21st. And so for me, it doesn't really feel like it's September because I haven't done any of the back to school shopping or school supply shopping for either of the kids because they don't start till the end of the month. So it's been a little bit strange, but we are into the burrs of the year, which I am very excited for. Autumn, of course, is my favorite time of the year. I named my social media name is, Pumpkin Hollow, so you already know that autumn is my favorite, but I just love this time of the year. There is an excitement in the air. Everyone is starting to create for Halloween and for autumn and Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's so much fun. I love it. The weather, even though it's hot outside today and we've had, hot weather for the last couple of weeks, there's a change in the air and you can really feel it now here, and some of the trees have already started to change, and I'm just thrilled that we're finally in, well, technically it's still summer, but autumn is beginning to make its appearance, and I'm just very excited. One thing that I keep forgetting to mention is thank you so much for your comments on the sunflower tree. The tree will stay, well, as you can see, I haven't changed any of my decor. I still have the Constitution quilt up. All of the patriotic 4th of July stuff has been put away, and now it's just sort of sunflowers and the few little summery things that I have that don't, a few minutes in and already the first interruption of the video. That was Freddie who interrupted me. He snuck out of his sister's room and made his way out here where I'm recording. He is taking a nap just right over there, and I don't dare make eye contact with him, otherwise he will be all up in here if I do. I'll show him at the end of the video. Anyway, as I was saying about my sunflower tree, thank you for all of your comments. I don't, so this time of the year I usually do more like a harvesty theme. The house really isn't decorated. It was decorated for the 4th of July and summer, and then I took all of that down the very first part of August, and it usually not really stays in limbo, but I don't really have a whole lot of decor that I put out in August and September, except for the trees. The one out in the other room is still decorated in a farmhouse theme, and then this one is the sunflower tree. I picked up all of these little sunflowers from Hobby Lobby and Joann's the last couple of years when they've had 70% off at the end of the season, and then I just use a gingham ribbon that I picked up from Michael's last year, and I reuse it in autumn as well. But I don't typically put out any of my Halloween decorations until it gets a little bit closer to the autumn equinox, although Allison has been petitioning me to do it a little bit earlier this year, but I typically wait until it gets a little bit closer, and then the whole house gets decorated. And if you're new here, and the way that I decorate my house for Halloween is more of like vintagey vibes. I don't do like the horror movies, or there's no brains or guts or anything like that. It's all just sort of, it's got a vintage feel to it. So last year I did a home tour, and if you go back in my videos, it says it on whichever video I did in October, and then just click to the end and you'll kind of get an idea of how I decorate for Halloween. In my last video, I did have a couple of questions. The first question I got, and I actually got this asked multiple times, I showed the pumpkin that it was called the grungy Jack, and it was sort of like a primitive grungy style of pumpkin, and I got a lot of questions asking how I did the process to age the pumpkin. So in the pattern that I purchased, it had the ingredients for making the stain, but basically without giving any specifics, it had instant coffee, vanilla, cinnamon, and water. And then in the pattern she lists how much of each ingredient that you need to make your stain. I know you can go on Pinterest and places like that, and many people have listed that sort of prim stain that they've used, and it's all different combinations of stuff. Some people put cloves in, some people do tea and coffee, so it's just kind of a variety. But for that particular pumpkin, it was coffee, instant coffee, water, and cinnamon and vanilla extract. And I will put a link to Denise's shop. It's called Prims by Denise, or Peach Bottom Primitives, and I'll just put a link directly to her Etsy shop for that. And then I get this question a lot. It's in regards to the Constitution quilt. A lot of people are wondering, is it a difficult quilt? Is there anything hard, any surprises, anything about the quilt that they should know about? And there isn't. This is just a very straightforward, easy log cabin style quilt, and there wasn't anything weird or odd about putting the quilt together. It was just very easy. If you've made a log cabin quilt before, it's basically all the same. There's no surprises. It's just very easy. The longest process you will have is just sewing all of the strips together, and they always look like they're very deceptively easy because it's straight sewing, but they take a long time to build, and it's a lot of fun. So no surprises. Another question I got asked multiple times was, am I going to stitch the Coming to America by Brenda Gervais? Yes, I am, and I'm very excited. I've been looking forward to that one for a long time, since she announced it, I think way back at Market, and I've just been very excited. It was one out of everything that has come out between Market and now, that was the one thing I was really looking forward to. And growing up, I had been always told that our family came over on the Mayflower, and in doing all of the genealogy, I have actually debunked that. The earliest relative on any family tree of mine was in 1628. They came over. So 8 years after the Mayflower came over, they did, and then they settled in Pennsylvania, and they were Pennsylvania Dutch area. They became Quakers. So yeah, I debunked it. However, on Brian's side of the family, he did have a relative, or his family, it was 3 family members came over on the Mayflower, the very first voyage. And in fact, the name of one of the women is his ancestor. So I'm looking so forward to stitching this. It starts on Sunday and it goes 66 days. And that's how long their voyage was. So I am looking forward to starting that on Sunday. And then the last question I got was, do I have a website for my long arm services? I don't. You can just contact me via email if you are interested in having me quilt for you, and I can always quote you a price. And I put my email down in the description box below. So I did get some happy mail over the past 2 weeks. And I know I talked a little bit in my last video about the Celtic Autumn that I am now stitching with Lisa from Lisa Loves Stitchin'. She lives in Australia, and we are both doing our she's doing spring, I'm doing autumn, and then we're gonna switch. Well, you know, we've been talking back and forth for the last couple of months, and she came across an extra Celtic spring that she had in her stash. So she sent me a message and said that she was just going to go ahead and send it since she had it. And so that came. And these Celtic ladies are so beautiful. And I have been looking forward to starting the Celtic Autumn ever since I saw Amy from the Globetrotting Stitcher working on hers, and the whole thing just sort of developed into, you know, stitching with a friend from the other side of the world, and it's just so much fun. So she included in her package this cute little pillow, and she sent all the details of it, but I have her note out where I keep all of my cards, and I didn't write it down. But I will put all of the information on this particular pillow in the description box down below. But she stitched this for me and then made it into this adorable pillow, and it's gonna look so wonderful this year with all of my seasonal decor. I can't wait. She also included this adorable needle minder, and I love it. And this, she said I could hang this on a project bag or on a pair of scissors, and I haven't decided which way I'm going to go yet. She also included this little kangaroo charm, which I will hang on a project bag just as soon as I make one. She included these Halloween pins, which are going to look good. I have I'm going to show it in what I've been working on, but it's Witches Night Out. I'm going to make it into a pillow, and I'm going to stick these in. So they're going to look amazing. She also sent me some tea from Australia, and she sent me a couple of scissor fobs. And they are just so awesome. And I've been watching her make these, and she posts them on Instagram when she gets them finished, and they're just all beautiful and sparkly. And I'm so happy to have those. But then Lisa also included some goodies to have as a giveaway. So I will have these as a giveaway later on in the video. But that was so sweet of her. Thank you so much, Lisa. And I am having so much fun. I haven't got any farther on my Celtic Autumn than what I showed you on, what day was that? Tuesday? No, Wednesday, I think. I sent you the picture. And I haven't worked any more on her. I think I'm probably going to make that a once a week stitch for right now, just because there's so much that I have going on, and then as the seasons pass, then I'll start working on her a little bit more. But it's so much fun stitching with Lisa. I always feel like with these big projects, it's always better to stitch with a friend, because the friend can help keep you motivated. And I love that she's on the other side of the world and we're stitching it together. It's just so much fun. And then the other little bit of happy mail I got was from Alice, and she sent me this beautiful card and her sweet note, so thank you. And she sent me a bunch of charts that she had in her stash that she passed along, and a lot of them I've never seen before. This is the Prairie Schooler Garden Versus, and it's on the cardstock. This is by Barrick Samplers, The Squirrel's Tree. From The Good Housewife, Currants, Coxcomb, and Rose. Love it. This is Bent Creek's Flag. Love Patriotic. From Summer Garden Stitchery. No, the Summer Garden Stitcheries by The City Stitcher. Love that little sampler, and the crow on the sunflower. That'd be perfect for having out here with my sunflower tree. And then this one, when I opened up her package and I saw this one, I just really like it. This is Fairy Grandmother, and I love that she, not only is it autumny, but that she has gray hair. I just love it. Love it. And I think I'm probably gonna have to stitch that one. I don't know if it necessarily be for myself, but definitely for a future grandchild, which is many, 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 many years down the road. The next one, Lavender and Lace, Fairy Dreams. Another Lavender and Lace. This one's Angel of Summer, which I just saw someone finish this I belong to the Lavender and Lace group on Facebook, and somebody not so long ago finished that one. Next up is Angel of Spring. From Chart Makers, Be True. La Di Da, Flower Basket. I don't think I've ever seen this one. There's a lot of charts I've never seen. I've only really been back into cross stitching the last 4 years, so there's lots of cross stitching to, I'm still finding everyday charts that I've never seen before. And then Lizzie Kate Snippet Fright Night. Lizzie Kate Land That I Love. Bank Creek Pumpkin Patch, which probably gonna have to stitch this one sooner rather than later. The Good Housewife. I think this is Sarah's Marking Sampler. Country Cottage Needleworks, Be Virtues. Cricket Collection, A Walk in the Woods. Cricket Collection, Folk Art Sampling. The Prairie Schooler, Acorns. Prairie Schooler, Prairie Seasons. The Prairie Schooler, Prairie Year Rounds, which I was just looking at this one right before it came in right before her box arrived in the mail. I just looked at that one and this one, Village Green. I love these little villages. And I was just looking at it and it was so funny that it came in the mail. And then the Prairie Schooler, Holiday Homestead. I love all of these ornament houses. I think they would look so amazing on the tree. And then the Prairie Schooler, A Prairie Christmas. So it was so sweet of Alice to send all of those my way, and thank you so much. And she was pretty genius. She told me that she apologized for the box that came in, but she sent them in a puzzle box, which that's genius. I mean, they're so sturdy and they would really, it held up very well in the mail. I'm probably gonna have to steal that idea. That's just a really great idea. So thank you so much, Alice and Lisa. I thank you. You guys are just so amazing. You've spoiled me rotten. Thank you so much. But I also did do a little bit of retail therapy. I think it was, last week. Michelle from Under the Woolen Willow, she's been, every day she's been posting all of these new items that she's been putting in her Etsy shop, and each one is more beautiful than the last. And she posted these sunflowers. So this is the smaller size, and then she had one that was a little bit taller and bigger. And I was able to snag this right after she posted it. Everything that she does is so meticulous and just so well made and so beautiful. And I'm so glad I was able to snag one of these because they sold out right away. But yeah, I love it. Every day for like the past week, she's just been unveiling all of these beautiful, beautiful things. And then also, it was the week before last. Michelle from Michelle's Little Stitches on Instagram, she posted these cute little felt trees that she makes. And so I contacted her because there was a brown one, an orange one, and I don't remember if the other one was tan. She does them seasonally. And so she had just sort of unveiled the ones that she was making for autumn, and I saw it and I contacted her and I was able to snag one, and she told me that she put the little wooden block a cue for quilter. So I thought that was so sweet and I love it. It's so cute. So this is one of those decorations along with the sunflower that not only can I put out for Halloween, but then I can also use for autumn. So when I shop for items to display around my home for seasons, especially when it comes to Halloween and autumn, I try to find things that don't necessarily look Halloween-y so that I can use them for Halloween, and then I can also use them in my autumn decorating, because I decorate both for Halloween and for Thanksgiving, autumn and November, and then decorate for Christmas and December. So I love this. Thank you so much. It's so gorgeous. both of those ladies do amazing work, and I definitely know that's not the last tree that I will be buying. And then I also received my Coming to America, so everything is in here. I got the fancy floss. The linen is 36 count from Jude Designs. There's no name attached to it. It's just been hand dyed. And then I also have all the DMC and everything's in here, and I would take it all out, but I know that everybody's seen it. And in my next video, I will show everything that came in the box. I still have to get ready. I still have to put my DMC on floss, the little floss tags, and then get everything ready for Sunday, but I'm very excited. And this morning I saw that Deb from Country Stitchers, is that their name? I think that's their name. Yeah, Country Stitchers. Anyway, if I'm wrong, I'll put it down below, but I feel like it's Deb and Liz. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, she took this part and she mounted it to a wooden box. Like, that's genius. So I'm probably gonna have to steal that idea from her, but I will show all of that. I will show what came in the kit. I know people have been posting it all over the place, and I will show that in my next video, show what came, and then, you know, talk a little bit more about that and talk about the relative that is Brian's relative. She's actually on the sampler. So I will talk about all that in my next video. But I ended up picking up, so I was watching Shonda from Stitching in Idaho. I think that's her. Is it Stitching? I know her Instagram name is Stitching in Idaho. And then she always says Stitching Along the Continental Divide. She has a Flosstube channel, and so I will link that Flosstube channel down below, but I feel like it's Stitching in Idaho. Her name's Shonda. Anyway, when I was doing a bunch of quilting last week, and so I had her videos playing, and she showed Parson Brown by Not Forgotten Farm. She had finished it. Did she finish it? I feel like she finished it. And so, but because I was watching all of her videos, I watched her progression. And so I ended up going to Not Forgotten Farm and purchasing Parson Brown. And while I was there, I also picked up Thomas. And I've had Thomas on my Pinterest cross-stitch wish list, you know, the Pinterest boards forever. And so since I was getting Parson Brown, I decided to go ahead and get Thomas. So I've never stitched anything from Not Forgotten Farm, but I've been a big fan of hers for, well, since I discovered her on Pinterest, and then I follow her on Facebook and Instagram. But while I was also there, I picked up Basket of Jacks, and I just got it as a PDF download. And I actually ordered this one after I ordered the other two, because a couple people on Instagram showed their finishes, and she was having a sale, and so I just decided I'm gonna get them. All right, so what have I been working on for the past 2 weeks? So the way that I do my stitching rotation, I work on a long-standing WIP on the weekend. So on Saturday and Sunday, I've been working on Brian's Christmas stocking. And then during the week, I rotate between, well, originally it was 2 projects, but now there are 3 projects. And that works very well for me, except as I've been working on Anniversaries in the Heart now since January 1st. And I got, we've come all this way. So we've come, 8 full months into 2020. And I thought I would be a little bit farther along because my ultimate goal is to finish it by December 31st. Only when I got to August, I realized that if I don't find a way to speed up my stitching or to spend a little bit more time stitching it, I'm not going to get it done. So over the last 2 weeks, I sort of changed the way that my rotation works. And I spent 1 full week working on my Anniversaries, and then Brian's stocking on the weekends, and then I've been rotating. Well, I was supposed to rotate between 2 other projects. But instead I ended up working on Anniversaries on Monday, and then on Tuesday I started Celtic Autumn, and then for the rest of the week I've been working on Witch's Night Out. And I'm also finding that over the past 2 weeks, instead of getting a good 2 hours of working on, what I'm working on for the evening, I'm only averaging about an hour. So my stitching has slowed way down over the past 2 weeks. And a lot of that has to do, because I've been doing a lot of quilting for clients, and then in the evenings I've been working on quilts for myself. And by the time I quit for the evening and then get everything, ready, situated, and all the things, it's usually about 9:30, 9:45 before I put in the first stitch. So I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks to sort of get that hour back that I've been missing, and hope that speeds things up for me a little bit. So I have been working on Witch's Night Out by Brenda Gervais. I originally started this as my morning stitch because Freddie was getting me up really early in the morning, and I found myself with this extra hour that was perfect for stitching. Only now he's sleeping in and he doesn't get up till like 7:30, 7:45. So I have been continuing to work on that. My goal is to get it finished. Hopefully soon I'm gonna make it into a pillow so that I will have it to display with my seasonal smalls. So this is my progress. I'm stitching it on a piece, I believe, of 36 count linen. It's the same linen that I used for Land of the Free by Blackbird Designs. I know it's a 36 count, but I don't know that it ever came with a name. It could be it's just antique cotton. I don't remember, but it's 36 count. I'm stitching it with all of the called for everything, and that's my progress. So it's coming along. The cauldron, I think I still have the cauldron left to stitch. There's a couple pumpkins at the bottom, a little bit of grass, and then the bats, and then it will be all done. But I'm loving stitching it, and these are the colors that I'm using. Some of my favorites are in here. I've decided that Colonial Copper is going to be one of those colors that I'm going to always have to have in my seasonal Halloween autumn stitches. It's perfect. It's just the perfect orangey rust. I love it. Next up is Celtic Autumn. So this is the Janet Granger conversion. I was gonna have there's a tiny little picture that comes in the chart, but it's in the other room. And I don't dare walk that way and get it because Freddie is laying right there. And if I get up and move that way, then he'll be all over the place. Anyway. So I'm doing the Janet Granger conversion, and this is my progress. So I'm stitching it on a piece of 28 count doubloon cashel that I bought from 123 Stitch. And I love it. The one thing that I did discover is for the shiny glistening thread that is Petite Treasure braid, and I completely understand why so many stitchers love it, because it stitches through the fabric like butter. And I, after coming off of Queen of Freedom and stitching with the Krynic, I wasn't looking forward to starting another project that was full of Krynic. And to have the Petite Treasure braid in there, it is so much fun to stitch with. And I will be substituting it now for all of the Krynic. And this is the project that I am stitching with Lisa of Lisa Loves Stitching. She has a Flosstube channel, and I will put the link to her channel down below. She also is on Instagram as Lisa Loves Stitching. She started spring, and I am starting autumn. So it's a lot of fun, and then when we're done, I will send my autumn chart down to her, and it's going to be a lot of fun stitching these ladies with her. Next up is Victorian Father Christmas by Stony Creek Magazine. This is the summer 2015 issue. It is still available if you are interested in stitching one of these stockings for yourself. You can get it from the Stony Creek website. I'm stitching it with the called for everything. And this is my progress. Actually, the magazine's not helping. Let me try it this way and block the tree. So here is my progress. So I'm stitching this on a piece of 28 count white Lugana. And I think it looks really, really good. I only stitched on it out of the 4 weekend days. I only stitched on it 3 because I was working on my anniversaries one of the days. I forgot it was Saturday. And I'd been working on it for about an hour, and it was right before I was getting ready to stop when I realized that it was Saturday and I should be working on this. But I've made pretty good progress in the 3 days that I had, and it's a lot of fun. So my goal with this one is to get it finished by November, which I realize is only in 2 months. So I'm hoping that maybe it's at least the beginning of November. I basically just need to get it finished, fully finished, by the time I decorate for Christmas, which is usually the weekend after Thanksgiving. Next up is my Anniversaries of the Heart, Swan Lake. So this one is block 7, but I stitched it in block 8's part. And I really thought I was going to get this one done before the end of August, which would then put me as being current with all the blocks. I would start at the beginning of September on the September block, but it just did not happen. I tried, but I just was not getting enough time to stitch. I really need those 2 solid hours to make really good progress. So the only thing I have left to stitch is there is a swan right here. I'm stitching this for my great grandmother, and so I will put, she was born in 1901, so the swan will go here, 1901 will go here. I'm going to put her maiden name, which was Slavey, so just the S up here, and then down the side of the house here, her name, which was Mary. And the reason why I am stitching this particular block for her is because she was also a quilter. She had a number of sisters, and they used to make quilts and then get together and hand quilt each sister's quilt. And I meant to grab her quilt to show in this video, and I completely forgot. So I promise I will make a note to myself and I will show it in my next video, because this block should be done by then. I ended up changing out a lot of the colors. I deepened them quite a bit. And the white, I really wanted it to pop, and I believe I used Grits by Weeks Dye Works. And I really love it. I love how it turned out. I really love this one. So here is all of the anniversaries all together. And I'm sorry about the tree in the back, but if you follow me on Instagram, or on Facebook, I've been posting pictures of these. And of course, I will have a picture of this at the end of the video. But there they all are. They look so awesome. I love them. This has been so much fun to stitch. I've really enjoyed it, and really enjoyed researching my family. And it's been a lot of fun. There's been some new people who have joined the stitch along. That is amazing. I'm so glad that I inspired you to start, or I've enabled you to start. I love that. It's been a lot of fun. And I think what makes it really fun is as you're stitching these blocks, you're stitching it for someone. And even though, you know, the colors, which has been a common problem, you know, when you go to pull the called for colors, a lot of the times they don't look like they did back in 2011. And so you guys are really making these blocks your own, and I just love seeing that so much. And it's just been so much fun. And thank you for letting me know that you're doing it and that you're having a good time stitching it. I love it. Next up, I am going to start Moonlight Visitor, which is the 9th block in the series. Before I forget, one question I get is how many booklets are in the series. If you have all 12, you have all you need to start the sampler. If you are stitching them all together, you notice that there's a couple of bonus blocks, and those are included in, for instance, the first bonus block is in number 7. This is the little sampler. And then in an upcoming one, the longer one is in one of the upcoming charts, which I don't have them with me. I just pulled these two out to talk about them. But as long as you have the 12, you're good to go. This part of the video I've had to do like 3 times. I just keep messing it up. So I'm gonna try one more time. So before I forget, I don't think I said what I was stitching my Anniversaries of the Heart on, which is 35 count sand. And I am stitching it 2/2. I'm stitching it with a variety of floss. And once I get the block done, I will do a blog post and I will list the conversion that I used for block number 7. If you liked block number 8, which is the one I showed in my last video with the sunflowers, I have done a blog post and I have listed all the colors for that particular block, and I will put a link to that blog post down below if you are interested. Okay, now, a couple months ago, Cynthia Brew, who is Stitching in the Light here on Flosstube, contacted Kristie, Crosshatch Quilts, and myself to see if we would be interested in doing a pumpkin-themed stitch-along that is hosted during the month of October. And we were like, yes, please, that sounds like a lot of fun. Now, I know that people have already started using the hashtag, which is thegreatpumpkinsal, and they've already been posting their pumpkin progress. Basically, the stitch along is just a pumpkin themed stitch along. So if you are working on something and it's got a pumpkin in it and you want to join the stitch along, go ahead and use the hashtag. We basically just want to see pumpkins. It's a lot of fun. So if you're interested in joining, again, the stitch along is the Great Pumpkin SAL, and I will make sure to put that information down below. If you want to join, you can go ahead and already use the hashtag because people are already starting to work on things for Halloween and for Thanksgiving, and if it's got a pumpkin in it, we want to see it. The stitch along is not just for cross stitching. If you are also a quilter and you are working on a quilt that has pumpkins in it, feel free to use the hashtag. If you are punch needle or knitting or anything that's got a pumpkin theme to it, use the hashtag. Let us know you're doing it. We want to see it. So it's just kind of an easy, laid back, kind of fun, kind of sal. And of course it's pumpkins, and you know I love pumpkins, otherwise I wouldn't have named every social media that's attached to me after pumpkins. Now, and I hope that I've explained it. It's basically just kind of a laid back pumpkin themed stitch along. And in my next video, of course, I will talk a little bit more about it, as well as we go into October, you know, because we just want to see pumpkins. And if you're working on pumpkins and you like pumpkins like we do, we want to see what you're working on, and, you know, join us. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun because people have already started. I've even started making pumpkin. I haven't used the hashtag yet. I should. But yeah, we just love seeing pumpkins, and we love fall, and we love this time of the year. It's just a lot of fun. Now, Cynthia, she contacted us a couple of weeks ago, and so this part has nothing to do with the stitch along, but we do want to let you know that this is something that Cynthia is doing, and we want to, you know, just sort of put the word out there, and then of course I will direct you to Cynthia's channel. So Cynthia, when she contacted us a couple of weeks ago, her future son-in-law is with an organization called Freedom Shield, which helps people who have been victims of human trafficking. And so she wanted to become involved in that organization, but you know, she doesn't have a whole lot of extra time, but she still wanted to be able to do something for Freedom Shield. So she decided to raise money for the organization, and at the same time she's going to host a raffle, and you can hear all about Freedom Shield and all about the raffle on Cynthia's channel, which I will put a link to the video that she did, which talks about Freedom Shield as well as the raffle. She explains it way better than I could, and I don't want to give any wrong details or anything like that. The only thing that I'm contributing, or I shouldn't say the only thing I'm contributing, I am contributing to her raffle, and that is a project bag. But again, all of the information is on the video that Cynthia did. She can explain it way better than me. I've tried to do it 3 times and I just keep messing up. And I don't want to say anything that's not, you know, correct. That's the word I'm looking for. But if you're interested in learning more about Freedom Shield, learning more about how you can enter the raffle that she is hosting, because she's got a lot of Flosstubers and a lot of Instagrammers who are donating to the raffle that she is holding, I will put a link to Cynthia's channel down below. If you're on your TV and you don't have any way to go to that, her Flosstube channel is Cynthia Brew, Stitching in the Light. And she just did a video last week or the beginning of this week talking about Freedom Shield as well as the pumpkinsal. All right, so in my last video I had a giveaway because I hit 6,000 subscribers, which is just, it still blows me away. And I decided I needed to do a giveaway, and so the giveaway was for a $50 Amazon gift card. And thank you to everybody who entered. I really enjoyed reading through all of your comments. The question was, if you could build a house anywhere in the world, where would it be and why? And you guys were such great sports. And I loved all of your answers. I think the vast majority of people want to live in the mountains, as do I, which I realized after I asked the question, I also didn't answer it. And where would I live if I could build a house and why? I would probably move to South Dakota. When I was a teenager, I went on vacation with my grandparents and we went through South Dakota, and it was such a beautiful state. And I loved the mountains. We visited Mount Rushmore. We visited the Badlands. It was a lot of fun. We also did the Jewel Cave, which was amazing. And so if I had to pick any place, I think it would be one of the Dakotas, because it was a beautiful land and it would have to be in the mountains, someplace where I still kind of get 4 seasons. Anyway, so the winner for the $50 Amazon gift card is Sue Allen. So Sue, congratulations. If you can get a hold of me via my email, that will be great. It's pumpkinhollowquilting@gmail.com. Thank you so much for entering. Again, the winner of the Amazon gift card is Sue Allen. So thank you to everybody who played along. I appreciate it so much. Welcome to all the new subscribers as well who found your way to my channel over the past 2 weeks and decided to subscribe. So thank you, thank you. Also, which was really kind of fun, was a number of quilters found their way to my channel, watched through the cross stitching, didn't mind that I was showing cross stitching, and then watched the quilting. So thank you so much, and welcome to all the quilters who found your way to my channel. I hope I enable you to start cross stitching. I do have a giveaway for this video. It is courtesy of Lisa from Lisa Loves Stitching here on Flosstube as well as Instagram. So Lisa sent me these 2 little gauze baggies which have goodies inside of them. I'm going to go ahead and do these as 2 giveaways. So for the first giveaway, what you would get is a little koala bear charm. So you could put this on a project bag or on your scissors, as well as a needle minder which has a vintage photo in it. And I have one, and I love the needle minder. I've been putting it on my Anniversaries of the Heart. So the second item is it's got a little Kangaroo Charm on it, which again, you could put on your project bag or your scissors. It comes with a set of needles, which are Halloween and autumn themed, as well as a scissor fob, which has a cute little witch at the bottom. So if you are interested in winning either one of those, what you need to do is first be a subscriber, and second, you need to like the video. And thirdly, you need to answer the question, which is, what are you looking forward most this autumn? What are you looking forward to the most this autumn? What I am looking forward to the most is the cooler days, because it's been really hot here in Oregon. It's also been very smoky because we have a forest fire. We have one in the gorge, we have one Eastern Oregon, and now we're getting the California wildfire smoke. So I'm looking forward to the cooler days. So if you are interested in winning either one of those, again, you have to like the video, be a subscriber, and answer the question, what are you looking forward most to this fall? And I will announce 2 winners in my next video. Thank you again to Lisa for donating the giveaway items. It was so sweet of you. I am enjoying the Stitchy goodness that you sent my way, and I can't wait to put those pins in Witch's Night Out as soon as I get her done. All right, so you guys, this is the end of the cross-stitch portion of the video. Thank you so much if you joined me here today just for the cross-stitching. I appreciate it so, so much. Next up, I am going to talk a little bit about quilting, so if you're not interested in that, this is a great stopping off point. However, if you want to see what I've been working on, stick around. I feel like I need some theme music for this segment of the video, just to announce it's a different segment. So this morning, well, yesterday, Allison and I started working on these little, they call them ornies. These are ghost ornies. This is a pattern that I picked up from Prims by Denise or Peach Bottom Primitives. But if you search on Etsy for Prims by Denise, that's how you will find her Etsy shop. My pumpkin that I showed in my last video was one of the patterns that I picked up from her. And then this, I also got this one too, as well as crows. So Allison and I yesterday, we worked on these. And I just made 2, but I will be making some more. And so here are my little ghost ornies that we finished. So last night I sewed the ghost shape, and then Allison painted. I stuffed them, Allison painted them, we baked them I baked them in the oven, and then added the eyes, baked them again, and then this morning I added the mouth, which is just out of black crochet thread. I painted it with the coffee stain, and then you bake it again. And then once it's finished, I added a little rusty bell to the end. There you can see it a little bit better. They smell amazing. Oh my gosh, they smell like cinnamon rolls. I love them. And which I have to be careful not to put them down where Freddie can get them, because he tried to eat one, which I don't blame him, because I'd want to eat one too. Anyway, these were so much fun to put together. I do plan on making some more, and I just might have maybe 1 or 2 to give away in my next video. So, and I think I'll do it towards the end for all of you guys who stick with me till the very end. I feel like you guys deserve some of these just for doing that. Anyway, so it was so much fun to make, very quick, very easy. And the next thing that we're going to make will be, there were some crows that you could get, and they look super easy. You know, you cut out the crow shape, you stuff it, and then you paint it, then you bake it, then you sand it, then you put the coffee stain on, you bake it again. It's just very easy, and it's a lot of fun, and the house always smells like a cinnamon roll when you're done. So the other thing that I have been working on, and I finished, is this quilt here. It is called Pumpkin Patch. I got this pattern out of the Primitive Quilts and Projects magazine, but I got it on their website. I will put a link to their website down below. The quilt is designed in piece by Rhonda McCrae. And in my last video, I showed the fabric that I was going to be using, and I have it finished. And I even have it quilted, which is amazing. So let's see, this is the way it goes. Here is my finish. Wait. So I absolutely love it. I use some of the fat quarters that Yvette sent me, as well as a few that I picked up from my local quilt shop. and I love it. I quilted it yesterday. I just did a simple swirl motif. I'm really looking forward to having that pumpkin quilt up on the wall right here in November. Previously there was another quilt. It was a maple, I think it was maple leaves. And I've decided to retire that quilt. I've had it hanging up there every year for quite a while. And yeah, I'm gonna retire it, and it's gonna go to the quilt ladder in November. Another thing that I finished over the past week is, this is called Pumpkin Patch by Timeless Traditions. I have it quilted, but I don't have binding on it yet. So this is another quilt that's gonna need binding, and this is how it turned out. I did post a picture of it on Instagram, and to everybody who commented and liked it, thank you so much. And it's a lot of fun, and I love it. This is kind of the style that my Halloween and my Thanksgiving / autumn decor look like. So if you wanted a little bit of an idea between the two quilts, that's kind of how my aesthetic goes. So it's a lot of fun. I believe the kit is sold out on the website. However, I saw on Facebook that she is cutting more kits. Next up is, okay, so I'm gonna show you the quilt that I showed you. I'm just gonna show you like a snippet of the quilt that I showed in my last video because I got some questions about it. And this is the quilt here. So this was just a 4-patch that I did on point. I copied Tina from For Love of the Stitches and Kristie at Crosshatch Quilts because they were both working on this, and then Tina finished hers and posted it, and I fell in love because I just love these colors, and she let me copy her. So the first question that I got was, what is the name of the pattern that I used? And there is no pattern. Basically, Tina sent me a picture of a quilt that was done on point to give me kind of a reference, and then she gave me kind of a rough, like handwritten, kind of her, the size of her blocks and things like that, just to give me like an idea of what I needed to cut out. And then, you know, it's a really easy quilt to, you know, to figure out. It's all done on the diagonal. So I kind of did a quick search on Google to see if I could find a pattern that I could reference to everybody, because I've gotten a lot of requests. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link to it's Quiltville, and she did sort of a cheat sheet that if you're going to do blocks on the diagonal, it gives you, you know, for instance, my blocks, I did them at 4.5. These are 4.5, and she gives you the diameters that you're going to need for this side block here, as well as the corner pieces. And if you have that, and knowing that it's just set on the diagonal, you have some quilt knowledge, you would be able to, as long as you know, like you already know, like, okay, my 4-patch is going to be 4.5, then I know that I need my solid piece to also be 4.5, and then it, you know, once you know with those side, because you cut out a bigger piece of, you know, for instance, the black, I had to cut out a larger square, and then I cut them into 4 pieces, and then that's what this was. And, or did I cut, I don't remember exactly the details, but I think with the side triangles, I cut a big like 7 1/4 or 7.5, and then I cut it in 4, and then with the 4 end pieces, I did just 1 square that you cut in half, but it gives you the dimensions of what you would need for all the different sizes, and I will put a link to that down below. That's what I've been referencing, you know, because I've had a lot of quilters ask me, and so I've just kind of pointed them in that direction. And this is the backing that I picked up for it, and I know that the camera's not picking it up very good, but it's got black, and then this is all kind of the same colors as the colors that I used in the quilt. Oh, the other question that I got was, is this a cheddar or is this an orange? So I would say that this is, it's more of the orange, like a rusty orange. but you could easily use a cheddar because there's a lot of cheddar in the Lancaster fabric line. All right, so let's talk about something, or two quilts that I'm planning on making. I came across this pattern. So it was a Pinterest pin. Pinterest is the great enabler. And it is called Libby's Log Cabin. So it came from Fons and Porter, but I bought it from, there was another, I don't know if it's like a quilting marketplace, but that's how I found it. So I saw this on Pinterest, and then it led me to, let's say, Quilting Daily, but I don't think that was the right one. And then that's how I was able to purchase it from Fons and Porter. So I'm planning on starting this hopefully in the next 2-ish weeks, because I think it's just a great everyday type of quilt. I think it'll go together pretty fast. I'm going to use fabrics out of my stash and then some of the fabrics that Yvette sent me. I will put a link if you're interested in that quilt. It lists it as being an intermediate. So if you are interested in it, again, here's a picture of what the whole thing looks like. So if you're interested in it, I will put a link to the website where I purchased it from. That is all I have to show for this video. If you've stuck around for all the way to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome to all the new subscribers. I appreciate you subscribing. I'm glad so many of you guys enjoy the quilts that I put at the end of the video. It means a lot to me because that is the other part of who I am, and I appreciate it that you guys like it and you don't mind that I, you know, tack it on to the end of my Flosstube video. You know what? I realized I forgot to show Fred. I would have a lot of angry people. All right, come here, Fred. Here is Freddie. He is getting so big, and everyone says that Freddie is my dog, and I don't know. Are you my dog? Yes, I love him. He's so cute. He's just, yeah, he's so cute. He has, let's see, next weekend he goes in and gets his last shots. He also gets his rabies shot, so we'll be able to then take him wherever we go, to the park, to the beach, to the mountains, wherever we decide to go, we'll be able to take him, and so I'm looking forward to that. Also, I'm looking forward to taking him and getting him a haircut, because he's getting a little shaggy-laggy. His hair would actually grow really long if we let it, but I don't think we will, because that's a lot of grooming you would have to do. So we'll probably, oh, you poor thing. We would have to do a ton of grooming if we let it go long. But he's so soft, he's so cuddly, and I adore him. Huh, Fred? Yeah, so cute. See? Anyway, so that is the end of my video. Thank you so much to everybody who stopped by today. I appreciate it. I will be back in 2 weeks, and I hope that you have a fun-filled 2 weeks. Bye, guys.